Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the temple. Okay, let me say my opening prayer. I'm like, oh, I have so many things. As we enter the temple, I welcome the presence of our higher selves. I welcome the presence of highest consciousness into this space, highest love, highest compassion. I ask for the divine to hold us in the light today. I welcome the presence of the Divine Mother to cradle us today as we do big work. I welcome the benevolent teachers and weavers of the divine plan to grace this space, to support the expansion and sharing of spiritual experience and education. This is the place where we do the work we talk about, and we're going to do some of that work today. We can be present. Let us be present for the unfolding of hearts returning to their true medicine. That means your hearts. You may be called to this space today because you are seeking divine connection, or you are seeking to truly dive into your inherent perfection and all of your gifts, to remember how to heal, to walk the path of love, and to participate in the restoration of the divine plan on earth. And so it is. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yay. Good morning, Michelle. So, I have planned a Imbolc ritual for us. And then, in the last 24 hours, my guidance, pretty much maybe 48 hours since I made the light language reel, extracting energy, for people who are reading the files. And it was almost like Spirit was like, I need you to do this, And so, of course, I'm here. I am available to do the things that are necessary. And so we're going to talk about some aspects here that are really important, really valuable for people to understand. And, I know my audience. I know that it's possible that a lot of the stuff that I will talk about today is not new to you, right? And with that, we are still reminding ourselves of our power. And so I still have some of our Imbolc ritual planned. So with that, what a time, Michelle. So with that, I'm going to give you a little space that if you have some seeds, and if you have a pot with soil in it that does not have a plant growing in it, if you're someone like me that always has these just around, please go get it. Please go get it. And if you have some seeds, go get your seeds. So I would like to create another container for this conversation, because I want to protect myself and I want to protect you as well, simply from the energies that need to be talked about. So in the center of this container, I anchor the blue cosmic flame of Sophia, the emerald crystal heart flame, the white Christed flame, and the triple solar dragon flame. I welcome Solaris Solar Dragon to watch over us, to shine upon us, and to protect us today. And the anchoring of these flames, the heart fire deep down into the earth. And I welcome Mother Gaia and her creator dragons, the Gaian dragons, to support us from below. Those who are actively participating in the evolution of this realm in all ways, in all levels, in all machinations. I ask that you protect us in this conversation today, that you hold us. And I call upon the divine pillars of light, and I place them in the corners of this container in order to imbue this session with harmony, love, truth, and respect. And the central pillar of this container is justice. And I welcome our protector dragons to encircle this container, to watch over us completely, and to alight atop this double terminated crystalline structure of our container. Thank you so much. I also call upon the shrouding elements of water. I welcome this conversation to be cloaked. And for all who hear, who see, and who receive this information today, this conversation, all who are witness to it are protected from external forces that may not approve of this conversation or this speaking, these energies, and this work done today. Each and every individual who comes upon this podcast are protected within the elements of this container. Thank you so much. Whew. So, talking about this stuff is not very easy. It's not fun. And I do what I'm told. I do what I'm told. So 2 days ago, I was told people need help, and folks that are really allowing themselves to dive in to the files are being affected, and they don't even know that they're being affected. You might be one of those people. And so what is happening? There was a post that I shared this morning that really put it together well, that every aspect of this is energy harvest. And we need to make sure that we're aware of this. So part of the energetics of releasing this information is, in the same way that we went through the pandemic, that it was a test, right? Everything is a test. How is humanity going to respond? How are the hearts going to respond to such painful information, right? And the thing is that while there are, allegations that can come out of the files, the emails, the photographs, the videos, everything, that so far nothing has, as far as that has been presented, because I'm not reading the files on purpose. I'm not reading the files. Well, good, Donna. That's great. So, there's so much here. There's so much. I don't know if there's anything providing proof in the files, right? So they're just correspondences, and correspondences are not proof. And unfortunately, that means that there is not necessarily an avenue for prosecution, I could be wrong about this. I'm not a lawyer. I haven't read the files, but I have not seen anyone in their excavations bring forward a video, a photograph, or an email saying, I did this, right? Anything that was a declaration, or everything was just like, whoa, that happened, that happened, that happened. However, this is not, unfortunately, viable for prosecution. And so what that means is that we're all being tested. How are we going to respond to this? How is humanity going to respond to this? And this is the big piece. What we have to realize. Let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture here. When we consider the elements of the situation, sacrifice, sacrificing innocence, right? This is not new. This isn't new. This is very old. And in fact, as old as how long has Yahweh been here? How long has the Jehovian matrix been on this planet? 6,000 years, right? So within this realm of a revelation, it's actually not new. And the ones who are, we'll just refer to the 1%, okay? The 1% of the 1%, really. But these families that have been in charge for millennia, right? They're not actual Christians, right? They're not actually participating in, the veneration of the divine, because true Christianity is a death cult. And the death cult provided a platform for other sacrificial beings to come forward, right? So if we know about Moloch, we know about Baal, you guys, who created these beings? Who brought them here? Because in my heart, knowing how long I've been here, there is this there is an awareness of a malevolence that arrived at certain points in history. And we know that many reptilians were already here, right? We know that before humanity, that they were already here. And that's why they claim this place, right? And there were, what we can read from texts, Sumerian texts, we can, ancient texts about the arrival of beings. But most importantly, the arrival of the sacrificial, angry God, masculine. Okay? So that's the origin of this. Literally, the origin of this started with who is known as God. And the demand for sacrifice to that God. So all Abrahamic sects and religions are woven into the fabric of sacrifice. And, Yeshua was definitely, one of the people that was like, well, why are you sacrificing these? So they went from sacrificing their own children to sacrificing animals to sacrificing other people's children. Okay, so this is not new. But what has happened over time is that the beings who have been in power, who have desired to stay in power, have used this technology of youth and innocence to harvest energy, to harvest power, I should say. So this is part and parcel to the, to the growth of humanity, to the evolution of industry, of religion, and how our whole society has taken form. And we don't even, if we're here sitting at about 140 years after Rockefeller decided to, well, he didn't decide, right? He was told this is what's next, right? These families, these 13 families that run the world, or let's say they run the matrix, okay? So these 13 families that run the matrix, that are in charge of the overlay on the planet, the overlay of control, have, had this technology for thousands of years and have been using the technology against humanity. And so when Rockefeller stepped forward and said, okay, well, now that we have this oil, right? Now that I can rise up, there was this combination of events. And we don't even have our true history intact, my friends. We don't. The truth is still coming out. We cannot trust our history books. Tell me why. Why can't we trust our history books? You know why. Because the history books are written by the victors, right? And they can change and recreate reality 1,000 times over. And it only takes 2 generations to lose technology, to lose vital life information. It only takes 2 generations to forget what came before and to simply give your mind and yourself over to what you're being fed. As simple as that. So, we, and just coming from the place of like, we all used to garden. We all used to be able to provide for ourselves. We weren't like in these compact cities and towns and apartments. We had, obviously there was less people, right? But even so, we have forgotten how to preserve our food or how to even make food. We have forgotten genes or species of fruit and vegetable. Like so much in the last 150 years has been carefully curated, manipulated, and very finely controlled so that humanity responds in a certain way, so that you do your job, whether that is to fight in the military or to pay your taxes, right? Or vote for your favorite popular person that says they're going to change things and they never do. All of these things, we are doing our duty to participate in their world that they created for themselves. And it's it's quite interesting if you have memory, if you have memories like I do of being royalty and seeing behind that wall, of what happens, what goes on in these places. And I've had a lot of memories come forward of a couple different lives as royalty, and being good in those lives, thankfully, being good. In other lives, I've got plenty of lives where I wasn't a good person. We all do. Interesting, that little cough with that phrase. But we're trying to purge it. Right? The body is like, we're done with that. Right? So what it feels like to me that's happening now is that everything is coming to a head. And those who pay attention to astrology and what's happening on this, grander scale, larger scale, that, there are some alignments and, what's the word? Conjunctions, maybe? Transits, that's the word. There are some transits that we haven't seen since the American Revolution. That's a pretty big deal, things such as this. So we know we're in for it, right? We know that we're in for these unveilings. But what we don't know is how much they're affecting us and how much we might be even losing our power by giving our time, our energy to these things. One of the worst aspects of this whole network is the mind control and the ritualized abuse. These people know mind control like the back of their hand. They were brought into the world with it. They were probably brutalized as children with it. Traumatized? What's wrong with my words today? And so, hi Topher, welcome. So they're like within this realm of, they know exactly how to do the thing. So they know how to say, they know how to act, they know how to, move chess pieces and all of these different things that keep you under control, paying your taxes, participating in the rat race, desiring smart cities, so desiring control, desiring convenience, desiring artificial help, right? Oh, I can make money with artificial intelligence. Yeah, but you're kind of losing a whole lot when you do that, So there's all of these different levels of manipulation that we arrive into when we're born. It was like already here, right? And our parents say, this is how it is, and this is how it is. And we go, okay, this is how it is, and this is how it is. And we just continue on and we pass it on to our children. This is how it is. Right? Do you remember your father just saying, when you said why, when you got a no, he said, because I said so? That's kind of like the world we're living in. Because they said so. This is how the world is. This is how class systems work, right? Like this is where we're at. So we have to be actively pulling ourselves and our consciousness and our energies out of it, out of the matrix. So how do we do that? Right? How do we do that? Well, initially, you stop participating in looking at nefarious things without spiritually preparing yourself. This is the manner. So at the beginning, I created a container and I created sort of a shrouding energy with water, like fog, right? To protect this conversation. I would say that if you are going to read the files, or if you are going to spend time in the muck, right, going down any rabbit hole that contains darkness of any kind, right, that is going to affect your psyche and your nervous system, you need to protect yourself. So you can, create a grid of protection around you. I anchor the heart fire and I place pillars of light around me and I put the dragons on the outside. And I will tell you, protector dragons are a certain kind of dragon. They're not dragons that are dragon guides. They're not dragons that you like Rumara that I'm like, that's right here. These are dragons that are only here for protection. They're the security guards, right? To call on the protector dragons, you have them watch over you while you do your deep dive, right? So I'm curious from those of you who are here, and thank you for being here. Those of you who are here, what have you experienced in your body? What have you experienced in your psyche that you feel came from, potentially reading these things or going into it or listening to it? I'd love to hear how you feel you've been affected, because I'd like to help you with that. And what I have found, and maybe this is just a personal experience right now, is that these last 48 hours, or maybe more, but these last few days, let's say, I have also been in kind of a personal review of my own mistakes in this life and things that I, pray for forgiveness about. And I think that's beautiful. That they're coming up naturally at the same time that these other huge, dark pieces of humanity are coming to the surface. This is revelatory times, right? And I'm sure I could name, maybe it's Saturn and Jupiter, they're doing something with the sun. I don't know, but it could be that they're drawing up, and I'm sure Pluto has a lot to do with this, that they're drawing up these deep, heavy energies. And what do we do with them? We look at them. We spend time with them. The only way to heal the dark is to bring it into the light. This is not conjecture. Is that the right word? This is not just talking, right? Like this is fact. Literal and figurative. Okay? So I'd love to hear, if you feel like you've been affected in any way, if you feel traumatized from reading the files. The interesting thing is, coming upon people are like, okay, I just spent the past few hours reading the files. And I'm like, why would you do that to yourself? I mean, somebody has to, right? They do need to be read. And, interesting. Well, not interesting. That was terrifying. So Ashley is experiencing her own fears manifesting, not manifesting, but showing up in her dreams that are reflecting this reality, right? So I want to ask that the heart of Elijah come to Ashley right now and touch her in that fear of her child being taken from her. Ashley, just ask that the heart of Elijah come and touch you in that field of fear and that experience within the dream realm. And I ask that the Archangel Michael run a mesh of pure white light through Ashley's field, gathering up this psychic field of fear of her child or children being taken from her. Gather it up, remove it completely from the dream time and from her consciousness and subconsciousness. Remove it completely, heal it in the light, and return it to source now. That's what we do. So when you have a fear that rises, I mean, the fear of our children being taken from us is like constant. And unfortunately, we also have to like communicate to our children that there are people who will kidnap you. And you have to stay with me all the time. When we go out, we go to a store, you need to be next to me, maybe holding my hand, maybe holding my clothes or my purse or the grocery cart, right? This is a prevalent fear, and that is more prevalent than ever because human trafficking is more prevalent than ever. We have experienced in Colorado, we were greatly aware of the influx of human trafficking that happened right after marijuana was legalized. And so obviously things were already happening, but we have to understand currency and that our children are currency. The children are currency, right? So facing this darkness, shining the light on it, absolutely necessary. Demanding that the Department of Justice investigate and pursue these individuals. I mean, it's great that, you know, Peter Attia is being brought down from his pedestal. Deepak Chopra, I never liked him. Never. He just felt so gross to me. I couldn't believe, like, what does everybody see in this guy? You know what I mean? It just felt like he was another, here's another Indian man to come bring, you know, some kind of new consciousness to humanity. No. Do you know about John of God? Right? It's common for individuals who are the darkest of the dark to appear full of light. And this is where we talk about false light. I believe that people were seeing Deepak's false light and being drawn to it because they couldn't they couldn't tell the difference. Lucky for me, I guess I intuitively knew the difference, right? And I also intuitively did not go to John of God. And I have friends who spent time with John of God in Brazil. And I don't need to go into how horrible that man is and what he has done and created with Oprah Winfrey. There's another person, right? A false light. So I'm amazed that she hasn't been named in the files. But I do believe that is because she's working in a different ring. She's part of a different program that's doing the same exact thing. And it's really important for us to know that Epstein is the tip of the iceberg. This is I mean, that's the hardest part, I think, for people to realize, or for us to even grasp, that for thousands of years, this is not a couple hundred years old or even the last 100 years, for thousands of years, this has been the way. Using purity to gain spiritual power. Sacrificing innocence to gain personal power. Read Aleister Crowley. He talks all about it. I'm reading these comments. Exactly, Pensy. Exactly. So that's what we're talking about as well, is that not not taking the time to protect yourself gives you the vulnerability of having your energy harvested. We must understand that there are always, we can't see the fourth dimension, most of us. Excuse me. We can't see these beings, but there are astral parasites everywhere. There are these reptilian beings, and they exist. And if you are generating fear, if you're running fear through your system, they see it, they pick it up, and they come and consume it. It's their food. It's like a pilot fish with the lamp. It's like you're showing where you are, and you don't have those teeth to get the parasites that come and get you, right? Chris says, I realized some of the unintentional, non-consenting flooding of social media of this stuff meant that I had to exercise more discretion. Yes. At the same time, it is validating when some of these people's energy gave me the ick, like DC did to me. We were feeling their true vibe underneath a fake light. Yes. It's so incredibly validating. Oh my goodness. So incredibly validating. So what do we do? What can we do to tend to ourselves, to tend to each other, to tend to our families while all of this is happening? And, the thing is, we can't forget about Iran. We can't forget that, ICE is out of control. Like, ICE can do its job without doing what it's doing. We know that. Okay. There are still, we're still dealing with Gaza. Like, that's not done. We still have Sudan, Nigeria, Congo, all of these things. Afghanistan, oh my God, the women in Afghanistan. Whew, right? So I just start thinking about all of these things. My body gets hot. I'm having a cortisol release in my body, thinking about all of these different things where people are suffering. Maybe I'm even getting red. Where people are suffering under tyrannical rule, or they're suffering in the streets, or they're suffering in the dark. What I have to do, and what I'm going to do right now, we're going to do this together. I'm going to breathe my divine light back into me, because I just went, right? And my nervous system was like, ah. So this is an opportunity for us to learn and to practice. Yes, Donna. Yes. I call in the presence of my higher self. I am. Do this with me. I am. I amplify the heart fire. I stand within it. All energies that seek to affect me or steal from me are not allowed within this space, are not allowed within my realm, are not allowed within my consciousness. You have no jurisdiction here, and you cannot penetrate the heart fire. And the heart fire is focalized at the 0 point center of your being. This is your source. This is where your energy comes from, right? And it is also where love comes from. There's a pulse with your heartbeat of love coming out of this heart center here. So I want you to come into awareness with it, breathe into it, and let the love flow, permeate your being, ripple out in concentric circles. And we're working with the technology of the heart and the heart center because it is the heart and the heart center that is being the most affected by this, right? So when we give ourselves the opportunity to stand inside the heart fire, we are purifying our field, we're purifying the heart, we're purifying our love. And it's different than a clearing, right? With Archangel Michael or with your guides, it's different. It is a resonant alignment with divine, with love, which is one and the same. Yep. Yeah. So then when you do already have energies that have arrived in your field or in your psyche, how do you get rid of them? You know, if you have, memories or, images or visions of what you read or things like that, or things that you've seen, or your mind is, spinning out, and showing you very scary, dark things, you can pull those fields out. And, I use light language to manipulate energy. That's how I work. And not just to move energy, but to bless, to pray, to heal, because why? Because it gets the human out of the way, the mind, the words, the spells of the English language, gets them out of the way so that my heart can speak and be in charge. I realize that not everyone is activated with their light language, so I'm going to do this for myself and for you. And I encourage you to just simply allow, if there's something for you to vocalize during this, I just invite you to allow the sounds to come out, allow the movement, allow yourself to come forward. And if that, wants to be verbalized in any way, do that. Allow yourself that. It's really powerful. Okay? So, I set the intention to extract all nefarious psyche parasites, any malevolent beings that might be here present with myself or anyone else watching this that are being affected by very dark things on this planet, affected by social media, receiving these informations, these revelations, anything that has been held or taken on or in, we are releasing now. all the way down to the cell structures, all the way down to the atom. Rumara, كل حركة فخاتي دي مكوس خاتي بلدي أنت كوسوت ويلا دي أي. يا شو مول حركة دي فكوس كوتو يما كتاي فل الركو سكوت يفدي يا مكوش وخلي دي أي. يا شو الحركة فالي دي مكتاي. What we're going to do is we're going to create a sphere of healing. And we're actually going to extract these energies and put them into the sphere of healing, okay? Yeah, so this is something that we do sometimes in the dragon tribe. If you ever join us, I know we have some members already here. So I invite you to just simply, wherever you feel things are stuck in you, pull them out and place them into the sphere. Yeah? Can you see it? There we go. And if there is any shame or guilt that also comes up from your own experiences, your own lifetime, extract it, put it in the healing sphere. Yeah? And just help you. Yeah. Yeah. Ma. Molar kaledia fasotia makatkhaledia fasamanto khaledia. Archangel Michael, I call upon those who are ready to release the energies that they have received, that they have taken on, or those who have been harvested and have lost energies due to these revelatory experiences, due to these veil liftings. I ask for the divine angels of the white light to touch each and every psyche affected, to run a mesh of pure white light through each and every individual, removing anything that may have been implanted, supplanted, subliminally placed, fractured, or otherwise harmed any individual. Gather it up, remove it completely, heal it in the light, return it to source now. I see a lot of dragons working with the angels. Thank you so much. And please search throughout all of creation for all pieces, parts, and fragments of every individual who has been affected by reading these files. Any energy of theirs that has been harvested or consumed by any beings, I call it back now. Archangel Michael, gather it all up, remove it completely, heal it in the light, and return it to each and every individual affected now. Return this sphere of light to the Amethyst Grail King and Queen to be transmuted and returned to source. Thank you so much. How's everybody doing? How are you doing? Okay. So now we're going to bring in, we have a hole. Oh, that's so sad. I just noticed that. We're going to bring in the divine light, we're going to bring in the energy of justice to move the people. Okay? Yeah. All right. I welcome the presence of Ma'at, goddess of justice. With great humility, I approach you, Divine One. And we need you more than ever. And we call upon divine justice in all of her faces, in all realms and realities, to step forward, to bring true balance to our lives, to this reality, to society, to this realm. We welcome you, Ma'at, and your feather, the divine feather against which our souls are measured, are weighed. And I ask Ma'at and all of the faces of divine justice to take place, to hold court all over this earth, in every country, in all of the places where it is needed. We know that this is a time of revolution, and true revolutions demand justice. I call forward bravery, courage in humanity to demand justice. I call forward those individuals who have been quiet to use their voices to demand investigations and prosecutions on all levels, to show that within the divine light, no one gets away with the darkest of the dark. No one. And we call forward, beloved Ma'at, the healing of our hearts, of what darkness might lie within us that is coming to the surface, that is ready for the light. That you help us to hold ourselves accountable, to be in our integrity, to be in right action and right relation with ourselves first and with each other. Thank you. We know that divine justice reigns, and it will. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Thank you, friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? We plant seeds. We plant seeds. So the seeds that I have, oh, beloved Bridget. Here's my Bridget's cross. Here's my very first Bridget's cross I ever made. What's interesting is that this week of Imbolc, this time, is about honoring the goddess Bridget. And, she's no small cookie. She is fire. She's fire. Imbolc is one of the fire festivals in the Celtic traditions. And Bridget, being the goddess of the hearth, the goddess of blacksmiths, right? the goddess of the craft, goddess of creation. She's the muse, if you will, for the Irish pantheon. And yes, she has a goddess form and a saint form because, the church. But she really was a woman. There's the goddess, and then there was the real woman who created miracles, who did truly manifest miracles and healed people. And what she teaches us at this time is that devotion to the divine is what heals. Pure trust is what heals us. Trusting that I can pray and meditate and create something, and that in the creation, I'm healing. This is what her gifts are. I'm just going to put this here on my heart. That in the act of creating from your hands, right, from your heart, that you're healing not only yourself, but others who get to receive your craft, whether they just receive it through sight or they get to have it, right? So one of the ways that I love to connect at Imbolc is through the seeds, because this is when the goddess is stirring. And I apologize for any Southern Hemispherians here today that I'm so northerly oriented. But it is what it is. What you are celebrating instead of Imbolc is that you are celebrating Lughnasadh. To think about it, I was like, what is that? What is the equivalent over there? Yeah, Lughnasadh, which is also a fire festival. Lu is the god of light. So I have calendula seeds, and these I harvested myself last year. Ooh, they're coming out. And calendula is the easiest thing to grow, I'll tell you that. But it's also an incredibly powerful healing herb. I feel like I was definitely raised with calendula. If anyone would like for me to send you some seeds, some calendula seeds, I would be more than happy to. I actually already have them in envelopes. But if you, Donna, do you need any calendula for your lovely garden? Calendula. Let's talk about the properties of calendula, the healing properties. So calendula is well known for the skin, for healing the skin. But it's also very deeply penetrating. It's really good to put on your lymph glands when you're sick. Yes. So you can put it here, put it on your lymph glands when you're sick, on your arms and your inner thigh. You can also, if you sprain an ankle, if you have calendula oil, then you can, maybe get some cheesecloth or gauze and put it on the oil and put it on the sprain, and it will help the sprain heal faster. So I probably have there's probably 200 seeds in here, and I only need one, but I'm going to take 3 because I like 3. Let me see if I can show these to you. They're really cool. It's the flower itself. The flower itself turns into the seed, right? And they kind of curl up on themselves and they self-propagate. So the flowers die and they curl in on themselves and then they turn into seed. And one plant probably has 50 seeds at least. And so, or not one plant, one flower. One flower. So as the flower dies, it'll drop a seed and immediately replant itself. Immediately. So last year I had one plant, And from self-propagation and me also propagating like in the garden. So I would I would let some of the flowers go to seed. I was harvesting the flowers to make medicine. Do I have my medicine around here to show you? No, I don't. But I made a salve, a healing salve. And and so I would toss some of the seeds, but there were also some. I ended up with 8 more calendula plants around the one that I planted. So within the same season, my friends, calendula blooms all season long. So if you live in a warmer climate than I do, it might bloom all year. It might just be a constant thing. I don't know, because I live in where am I? 6? Honestly, not sure. I know that Oklahoma is a 5, so we must be a 6. But so I'm going to set intentions. I'm going to add my saliva. So I'm going to put these 3 seeds that I'm going to plant. I'm going to put them in my mouth while I state my intentions for the next 9 months. That's what Imbolc is about, right? So we're preparing for the next, right? Really the whole year, all the way to the next Imbolc, right? But mostly to the next winter solstice, okay? I'm going to put these in my mouth. And yay, Pensy. It's the best one to start with. I think that's why it like called to me, because it's so easy to work with and so fun. So when we add our saliva to our plants, to our seeds, the plant itself takes our DNA, it takes our information and generates that plant according to our needs. So you can just give a little spit, to your pot, or you can literally just put them in your mouth. So because we're just starting, I am going to put 3 in here. And then when they get bigger, I can transplant them. Like, oh, I have to put water in here too. Oh, I forgot to say my intentions. So I'm going to hold my pot because the seeds are already in here now. So if you don't have a plant in a pot right now, I invite you can put your intentions into my plant, or you can put your intentions for the next year and maybe just think of a couple things. You don't need to get too complicated, but just think of a couple things that you want to accomplish for yourself. Maybe you want to build, you want to, something that you want to create, and something that you want to heal. Something that you want to create, build, something that you want to heal. Oh, I want to heal my lungs. Please, once and for all, can I please have my lungs back? Oh, goodness. I feel like if I put a tear, if I water it with my tears, will it happen? Oh. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this in a glass because I'm gonna water it now. That's so funny. Water. Thank you, beloved calendula. Get in there. Yeah. Beautiful. Margaret, I know. But you know, isn't it so funny? I was watching this show yesterday. So I had Mad Men on in the background while I was cooking dinner. And I for the last like several months have been, just putting it on in the back when I have to do office work or things like that, But I'm at the end of the season and this woman is like, Dawn is on her porch trying to find somebody. And she's like, well, you better come inside. My neighbors have seen you on the porch for long enough or something. And it's like, going inside is better. But then I just had that thought, like, of just like, oh, that's kind of a gross feeling. It's like every time you step out of your house when you live in a residential area, every time you step out of your house, somebody knows. Somebody might be watching. Oh, I don't like that feeling. But it is probably real. But if you live in the woods, if you have some land, then it's only the fairies and the animals and the plants that are looking at you. Okay. So, anybody else want some calendula seeds sent to them? I certainly will. Donna, I'm definitely sending to you. Very, very happy to. Very, very happy to. All right, my friends, let us come to a close. I really, really appreciate all of you being here with me and all of you. I love that, Ariana. Yay, Pensy, I absolutely will. Yay, Ashley, I'd love to. So, everybody just send me your address, message me your address, and I'll send them out very soon. I just want to give so much love and gratitude for the divine, that we have found it, that we have found our alignment, that we have these awarenesses, these abilities, this consciousness to help ourselves, to help each other through these very, very intense times. There's a lot of trauma on the planet. There's a lot of pain. And we feel so helpless. And I am so grateful to the divine, to Yeshua, to Mary, to Archangel Michael, the heart of Elijah, to all of my personal helpers, Rumara, to the Divine Mother herself for holding us all through this time. And may it continue that veils are lifted, that we do not just have one and then people go back to sleep. Let it continue. And let us hold ourselves and each other through it. Thank you. Thank you to Solaris, Solar Dragon. Thank you to the Gaian dragons. Thank you to our protector dragons for watching over us during this podcast so that we can continue and walk forward in a good way with our hearts in total alignment, in coherence, breaking through all of these means to control us so that we can arrive in a thriving world of balance, peace, and prosperity for all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is. I love you all. I'll see you soon. Take care.